Yo. Welcome to Club Shada episode 331 or something like that. It's starting to be a lot of episodes. I hope everybody's doing good. I hope you had a great beginning of the week. I couldn't be live yesterday. Sorry, I was dining with Bodhisattva and celebrating his birthday, so I came home late. Then I was tired. My water. Having your fridge in your office is kind of cool. So as I was saying, I was celebrating Buddy's 40th birthday yesterday, so I could not arrive early enough. We went to dinner around 8:30, and by the time I was home, it was probably 11 something, and I just wanted to sleep. So I was like, I'll come tomorrow, because I don't know if I'm going to be able. I think I'm going to be able to be live Sunday, but I'm leaving tomorrow early, like early during the day, 11, to Brussels, because I have a show tomorrow at Blue Club in Brussels. So, and I'm gonna stay there Saturday so I can spend some time with my son, and then I'm coming back Sunday early. I think I'll be here back Sunday at 3 p.m. And I'm celebrating 9 years of relationship with my wife. So I don't know if we're gonna go dinner, if we're gonna do something, because the kid goes to school the next day. So maybe we're gonna all go dinner and come back early. I have to see what we're gonna do, since I'm arriving only at 3 p.m. So I have to organize everything, flowers, all that stuff. You know how it goes. I hope everybody's doing great. I'm doing great. This show is brought to you by ShadaWare.com, the gods of good fortune, the Bat Slime Company. You can get this t-shirt on Shadaware, which is the sponsor. I want to acknowledge our stream royalty for the second month in a row, Anan Saudi. Thank you so much, Anan, for supporting the show. If anybody want to take her place, $22 is all you need. And of course, all our sponsors, you know how we do. I always forget to take my night medicine. Listen. What can I say? Let me just say hi. That's better. Then we're going to talk about some interesting things. There's some things that everybody wants to talk about that, you know what? I had a whole 2-hour episode trying to explain to people how we got here. And then I just said to myself, it kind of makes no sense, because nobody in this world is trying to make sense anymore. People just want to destroy and be revengeful. So it kind of makes no sense to try to be for the side of peace for everybody, and understand and just say, listen, there are innocent children who, if nobody breaks the cycle of hatred, they will lose their friends, their parents, their mothers, and they will grow up hating, and then the cycle will continue. And the way the whole world is just being divided into the people who want to be victim in that soul, and the people that people want to call evil, and that's all. And in reality, nobody is just one thing. The same people who are victims are also culprits of inhumane behavior, and they use the victimization as an excuse. And the people who are victims from the other side are also using this as an excuse to commit horrible things. And all you can do is ceasefire, but it's hard right now because everybody's emotional. So, and it's interesting how everybody is supposed to take a position today in this world. We in the world now, when you cannot say I don't give a fuck, everybody has to have an opinion, and everybody must choose the right side. It's not like choose a side, it's choose the right one. Because if somebody asks you, hey, what is your opinion, and you say my opinion is this, and but they would wanted you to say this for every subject, is the same thing for every subject now. Boom, they will just resume in, so you support terrorists. You're like, so you're transphobic. And I guess the good art of diplomacy and dialogue has died in this social media world where it's just emotional people. And I believe it's a whole generation of emotive people that I don't know how they're gonna grow old, but life will show most people. So it's so interesting where we had the same thing when the Ukraine Russia conflict started, where the same people and the same people, like the same media, that were saying, hey, there's some sketchy thing happening now out there. There's a lot of right-wing extremists. The government is corrupted, etc., etc. All of a sudden, it was like, hey, you stand with them, or you stand with evil. And it's sadly, it's a way. And listen, maybe the people who stand with, who just want everybody to live peacefully, free, have two countries that are not on fire. Like, these people, whenever they say that, right now, people want them to just say, hey, I condemn this was, and it seems like you cannot even say, of course we do. If everybody condemns this, whatever crime that is conducted from any side, but nobody wants to hear that. People want to hear you say, we condemn these people for the things they did because they're horrible. And I do. I condemn that. It's horrible. But then anybody who wants to say, okay, but how did we get here? And if you have extreme parts on both countries, people who want to just get rid of other people because they don't consider them human, and it's not everybody, it's the extreme ones. And on the other side, you have people, they just want to live in peace, but they have an extreme people on their side too that want to get rid of those ones too. In reality, what you have to get rid of is both extremes and be able to live peacefully. But the more you go in, the more it's complicated, the more it's impossible to do. People have been trying forever, and in a certain way, some people, you have to always ask yourself a question whenever something happens, right? Not if something happens, even if whoever benefits from what happens might not be responsible for the event, right? But still, I was in Disneyland with my wife and daughter, and the weather was okay. It was good. It was a good weather. And all of a sudden it started raining. And everybody run on the sides of all the shops. And all the people from the shops, they went in their stock and they came out with some plastic coats that probably, from the quality, you could see it cost 50 cents to make. But they sold everyone 15 euros. And you have families of 5 people, 10 people. You had groups of 100 people all buying. So 100 times 15. So did the people who have those jackets ready to sell, they probably bought 1,000 at 50 cents each. And they probably sold that 1,000 on that same day for 15,000. Did they create the rain? No. Did they benefit from the situation? Yes. So my question here is, when shit happens, what I always ask myself is, who benefits from this? Who can now, on both sides, act more violently or more extremely and even stay in power? That's the way I am. I cannot help myself but asking myself those questions. Still, listen, all the innocents that didn't ask for nothing, that are not politicians, that were just born in the wrong place, listen, I pray for them. To me, that's all I can say. And I condemn violence and barbaric acts. But it doesn't mean that the acts of a group of people represents a whole country. And this works for all sides. When I went to Ukraine in 2018, I met some amazing people. I met some Russian people that had Ukrainian girlfriends that lived in Ukraine, and everybody was like brothers and sisters. And I was in Kharkiv. We're not far from actually the front, the part that was trying to do secession. And listen, I met great people. And at the same time, I knew there was a lot of evil activity around there. But the people who were dancing kizomba were not responsible for all that, for the politics, the movement of power, the influence of external power, etc. But when the war exploded, it was just people telling us, these are the good people, these are the bad people, and you have to be with the good people. You don't really have a choice, actually. And it's interesting because I posted something that actually had nothing to do with the situation right now. I was just posting something that a Malcolm X quote that says, the media will make you believe that the oppressor is the victim, and then the victim is the oppressor. So you have to be careful. I always love these quotes. It's a quote from the 60s. And I posted it. And I have a friend of mine, very, very, very good friend that I love very much. who's from Israel, who sent me a message directly, say, "What are you talking about?" I was like, "Bro, chill, chill. I hope you're all right. I hope your family is all right. And listen, I pray for you." And he was like, "Oh, thank you, my brother." But you see, when we had the terrorist attack in France, and we were all traumatized, then you had this slogan that happened, which was, "I am Charlie." And it was because the people from that journal were brutally murdered. And the new slogan was, "Are you Charlie?" And so it was like, everybody was like, "I am Charlie." Everybody was posting, "I am Charlie." And one kid said, "I disagree with the murder, but I'm not Charlie." And he got removed from school directly, because the question was not, "Are you Charlie?" The question was, "Are you Charlie? Answer yes. And if you don't answer yes, you are a terrorist apologist." And some people were saying, "Listen, we understand in this country, you don't respect nothing, you don't respect religion because it's a light country, etc. But for us, the prophet is off limits. And these guys were abusing. Did they deserve to die? No. But am I Charlie? No." That's what some people were saying. That was their logic. And we are in a world right now where people don't care about your logic. People, they just want you to say, to all go in a direction. And with the internet, it's interesting where DJ D-Rock, you stupid. Well, we in a world where there's so many people who can now have so many opinions online, that it seems like the people who want everybody to only have one opinion, they just are becoming less and less democratic. And the good and the bad is a good way to prevent the conversation to happen. And listen, I want to say it straight right now. I don't believe that the victims planned what happened. Even if it's kind of strange that with all the signals and the Secret Service and everything, it's kind of strange that it could happen. But listen, failure happens, okay? With that said, the conversation last week, listen, 10 days ago, the conversation was going more and more in one direction. The conversation was, this country is becoming an apartheid state because they are taking hostage 2 million people, and they are colonizing, and they are not treating the people who were there in this land before they came. I know the story is very long, and they were there thousands of years ago, but they are so the Indians and etc. So listen, 100 years ago, some people were there. Then some people arrived, and they came back to the chosen land. And then the people who were there for a few hundred years were like, "Yo, that's my house." And we were like, we're gonna settle here. And that's how the whole shit started. Thank you, UK. Thank you, France. And then because they kind of took the monopoly of victimhood. It seems when you talk to in Occidental media, they are like the ultimate victims. Other people were victims of genocides as well, but it's not the same. And it was kind of a good reason to be there. But then, as time went on and they started expanding their territory, the voices lately were, what you're doing is like the voices were starting to shift. Every documentary, everything I was seeing these last few days were like, people were starting to be like, yo, listen, we understand that you were victims 60 years ago, 80 years ago, but now, right now, what you're doing, people are starting to be like, and even voices inside of their country were saying, yo, what we are doing is called apartheid. We cannot treat some people away and others have no vote, no, etc., etc. And listen, it reminds me of Zimbabwe when it was still called Rhodesia. The same road who gave the name to Rhodesia was the one who did the deal to install these group of people back in their country. They did the deal, but they didn't ask, and the UN didn't ask the opinion of the people who were in the region. That was the reckless move. But you see, the conversation was kind of starting to be very critical. Even the US, like everybody was like, yo, guys, you are starting to abuse here. And then now it's raining and now they can sell the coats. Ouais, je suis là, qu'est-ce que tu veux?
On voit le lien.
Oh. All right, let me send it to you. All right. Tu as appelé vraiment, c'est-à-dire, he called exactly when I was done with this subject, because it's not that I want to talk about it, but in a way, I believe it's a conversation that demands intelligence, and it demands calm, and it demands less emotion. And right now, everybody's emotional. People want revenge. People want to yell. People don't want to be smart. So I believe it's a conversation that would be good to have in a week or 2 or 3. Sometimes you have to wait. How do I put the interview mode? Yeah, there it is. Let me see. There's the link. There we go. All right. As Buddy is coming, let me say hi to everybody, because I've been here talking about the things I don't want to talk. And yeah, you know how we do. What up, Saidal? Bless. Sabrina Ziklov, what up, sis? I hope you're doing good. Emery, how you doing? I like my new comments, they look good. Black Free Thinker, what up? How you doing? It's good that you show up even when I'm not on the right day. DJ Rock, you've forgotten that you didn't come yesterday. You're forgiven. Thanks. Listen, sorry that I couldn't come to the festival. I had my dad my dad decided to come the same weekend, and yeah, listen, it was family time, but I hope it went well. I want to see the videos, I want to see the photos, and next year I'll be there for sure, or the next one maybe. All right. Don't move, buddy. I'm saying hi to everybody. Master Electronic, what up? I hope you're doing good. Listen, as we hear, what? Lord, I have to assign this guy to guest one. There you go. C'est donc. Pourquoi toi tu es en haut et moi je suis en bas? Attends un peu. C'est pas sérieux ça.
Mon cher, que veux-tu que je te dise? C'est toi qui n'as pas bien fait le setup.
Ne dis pas ce genre de choses. Alright, Shada Gang, join me in wishing happy birthday to Bodhisattva, who is now a quadra, 40 years old. Look at that. Look at that.
Le mignon garçon, le mignon quadra.
Le mignon quadra.
Si. Ouais, bon.
So let me finish saying hi. Chris 7 is saying, I agree with you. Thank you. Master Electronic is saying, I'm sending love from Kinshasa. Master Electronic is in Kinshasa in a mission to replenish the people of Congo. He wants to spread his sperm everywhere. Urban Sweet Spot. What up? I hope you're doing. Master Electronic is saying the Ukraine war is over. Russia won the war. I don't know. But one thing is sure. Somebody is saying, hey, don't forget about me, because, you know, that's the world. The world, when there's something new, there's a new story to talk about, they forget about the old one. Joel, man, what up? I hope you're doing good, my brother. DJ D-Rock is stupidly saying, adopt, they were dancing kizomba. Listen, some of them were dancing kizomba. Stop hating on urban kids. You guys have to unite. Listen, DJ D-Rock, you are the father of the urban kids. You have to embrace your kids. They come from you. It is what it is. They all came from your balls. Yeah, everybody, don't forget to like the live. It's important. Did you see how my comments look good now? On the new version of Ecam? I'm going back to the old Club Shada logo. I've been thinking of how I'm gonna change my whole thing. I'm gonna go back to the old Club Shada logo, but I'm gonna put there now. I'm gonna put it in the middle down there. That's gonna be the way I'm gonna do it. Master Electronic is saying the world is not for the weak people. The world is harsh for the weak. I believe, listen, the problem is 100 years without wars and people are just different. Emmanuel Etienne is saying, bonne fête mon mari. Yes.
Vas-y Etienne. Merci beaucoup.
Master Electronic is saying, happy birthday, Mr. Sattva.
Singila mingi, vraiment. Singila mingi, Master Electronic, toujours tokos, toujours ligolo.
Joel Amen is saying, happy birthday, Bodhisattva.
Merci beaucoup, Joel Amen.
DJ D-Rock is saying that we are invited, you and me, to celebrate in Romania.
Oh, nice.
Oh, Romania. That sounds like a plan. Sabrina is saying hello, buddy.
Sabrina! Aïe. Ouais, ouais.
Master Electronic is saying Baboubou Baboté, papa, ça te va. Oh.
Toujours élégante, toujours élégante. L'attitude doit être élégante. Doit être élégante.
DJ D-Rock is saying happy birthday, boy. Welcome to the club.
Boy, okay.
Emmanuel is saying again. Again? She says 40 ans, you ready? You ready for me? You ready? I have a house. I have a house in Canada waiting for you.
Tu ne changes vraiment jamais, quoi. C'est grave, hein?
Never.
Faut chercher à évoluer dans la vie, hein.
So how does it feel to be 40?
It feels particular, actually. I have to say, I didn't know what to expect, but yeah, it feels peculiar, you know. But yeah, I mean, mostly because yeah, my parents are not around anymore, so it's not easy. But so it's a bittersweet feeling, very bittersweet. I won't lie. But you know, we give thanks. Many people don't get the chance to make it to that age, so you know, I'm here. I give thanks. God is great. You know, yesterday we went out, celebrated with some nice Japanese food, and then
Indeed,
proper dessert. It was nice. Thank you, Papa K, for the treats.
It's normal. It's normal. I have to change something in my preferences. Comments have to leave after 15 minutes. 20 seconds is too much. Emery saying joyeux anniversaire, Body.
Mignon, ouais, si. Très mignon sur la photo, vraiment. Ah, et
vraiment, je te dis, regarde, hein.
Regarde presque, tu sais, perdu dans l'horizon, mais très confiant. Mystique.
Intellectuel béninois, tu vois, très genre. Hein?
Vraiment.
Emmanuel Etienne is saying, c'est quand la date de mariage?
Ah, tu as vu, c'est ça?
Mais ça, c'est à vous de gérer, vous deux. C'est à vous de gérer.
Non,
écoute.
C'est pas que t'aimes trop parler, donc faut vraiment tout gérer. Tu n'as qu'à gérer, puis c'est toi le parrain du mariage, donc comme ça.
Non, comme vous êtes tous les deux célibataires, tu peux aller au Canada.
Tu es célibataire? Emmanuel Etienne.
Elle t'attend.
Aïe.
On a dit, elle t'attend. Elle dit qu'elle a les cuisses comme tu aimes. Elle a Bandolo comme tu aimes. Donc.
Les cuisseaux. Moi, je suis un homme des cuisses. J'aime les cuisses.
Ma cuisse, l'art.
Ah, mon cher. Ah oui.
Cuisse nagnard.
Ah, un boulard, yabango.
Lord. So yeah, I mean, as I was saying, listen, prayers to everybody. And trust me, there's a lot of people who will take advantage of this situation to advance their agendas everywhere, from every side, because that's the way it is. So keep your eyes open, stay woke, the real woke. Oui, je suis single. NASA ready.
De nos jours, faut pas trop clamer ce genre de choses. Hein. Là, tu sais que les gars aujourd'hui, quand ils entendent qu'une go est single, surtout comme ça, ils commencent à dire ouais, mais peut-être la go est problématique. Hein.
Non, peut-être justement, elle se garde pour quelqu'un qui en vaut la peine.
N'est-ce pas? Tu sais, nous qui avons la gentille, c'est souvent nous les plus grands salauds. Hein. Fais attention.
Justement. Sabrina dit, tu avais une belle chevelure body quand tu étais jeune.
Tu as constaté, non, Sabrina? Tu as pu observer, au fait, voilà, une beauté qui maintenant n'est plus. Nous sommes chauves, nous sommes barbus maintenant.
Ah, mon cher, quelle barbe. Bah, jolie barbe. Ah, il vaut mieux être seul que mal accompagné, comme c'est mon cas. C'est ou c'était?
Comme ça a été mon cas. Oh, ben ça va. Donc tu n'es plus seul. Ça va. Tu as trouvé donc la
C'est ça.
chaussure à ton pied.
Dommage, j'allais créer un ménage à trois.
Ah, tu as créé vraiment des conflits. Vraiment. Ah,
Sabrina
Haïti, il faut se
Emmanuel
fâcher, mon
Body.
cher. Haïti, allait se fâcher. Hein.
C'est ça.
Ça dégage.
Danser le compas sur son visage.
Ah,
Master électronique qui saigne. Monsieur, ça va, viens te chauffer en RDC.
ah,
Mais moi,
c'est à
j'aimerais
cause de
comprendre.
Kaysha. C'est Kaysha qui ne m'a même pas au Congo. Sinon, je devais être là depuis. Non, c'est la faute de Kaysha.
Moi, il y a quelque chose que je ne comprends pas avec Master Electronic. Il y a quelque chose que je ne saisis pas dans l'affaire de Master
Regardez comment
Electronic.
Kaysha fait son malin. Il est allé chercher dans son petit frigo sa bouteille. Kaysha, faut arrêter. Faut arrêter. Alors voilà. Il y a les uns, il y a les autres, quoi.
Mon cher,
Vraiment.
désolé, on est
Regarde, on
ensemble.
n'a pas de frigo, mais on récupère les bouteilles.
Mais, ah non, Sabrina est célibataire. Donc,
Ah bon?
si elle a la cuisse,
Mais attention, c'est pas n'importe quelle cuisse, attention. J'aime à dire. Il y a des. Enfin, bon, je suis compliqué aussi, c'est vrai. Mais oui, c'est bon.
ok. Donc, c'est cuisse, quoi.
Non,
C'est cuisse, mais pas
que-
cuisse.
Parce que,
Cuisse,
attention, tu sais, il y a des
cuisse
cuisses, tu sais, il y a des
musclée,
gros
cuisse. Tu
Il y a
aimes
des
cuisse
mots, quand tu
musclée,
marches, on dirait des-
tu aimes,
Ah, si on parle en même temps, ça va pas aller. Vas-y.
tu aimes cuisse musclée, tu aimes cuisse grasse, tu aimes
Non.
cuisse
Non, ça veut dire,
viandue.
quand tu as des go qui sont trop balèzes, elles marchent comme des bonhommes. Ça ne m'intéresse pas. Il faut qu'il y ait une grâce, il faut qu'il y ait une certaine sveltesse. Même si
Donc, tu n'aimes
la
pas les
chair,
Brésiliens musclés.
on doit sentir. Trop musclés. Les Brésiliens sont parfois trop musclés. Au fait, il faut qu'il y ait une bonne balance entre un peu de graisse et un peu de muscle. On doit sentir que la go fait attention, mais elle n'est pas trop non plus exagérée. Mais bon, j'ai déjà ces go-là dans mon entourage, donc c'est pas comme si on n'a pas ça. C'est juste que bon, on est focalisé sur d'autres choses, on est dans les business. Ah, tu vois. Arrête de ne partage pas. Voilà. Sabrina, tu as raison. Hein.
Mais de toute façon, vous êtes tous seuls. Donc, pour l'instant, personne ne partage avec personne.
Voilà. Faudrait peut-être déjà commencer quelque part.
Et puis, Sabrina est en France. La France a 2 heures du Portugal.
3 heures.
Emmanuel est au Canada. C'est loin.
Non, Emmanuel, vraiment là, c'est un peu trop loin. Hein.
Et il fait froid là-bas. Hein. Quand il fait froid, là, il fait froid. Hein.
Nous-mêmes aussi au Canada, on a des dossiers. Hein. On a des dossiers normands. Hein. Attention. Il ne faudrait pas qu'arriver là-bas, maintenant, ça crée des problèmes. Nous arriver au club, nous avons vraiment des bagarres. Des lettres de bagarre.
Lettre de bagarre.
Je te jure. Non, le cuisson.
Et je t'avais beber un shot de protéines. Tina.
À cette heure-ci. Ah, ok, faut pas floquer sur nous à cette heure-ci, pardon.
Cuisse
On s'est dit
potelée.
Pote. Ah, le terme est... Oh, Sabrina, c'est ça le terme. Le potelélou, le poteling, le potelé.
Ma cuisse suédoise.
Oh, Master les douaniers. Ouais. Non,
Voilà.
non, tu sais quoi, tu ne crois pas ce qu'ils viennent dire. Les Suédoises, et puis il y a certaines Norvégiennes là. Ils ont des...
Oh my God. Je sais pas, moi je ne suis plus dans le marché. Je ne suis plus dans le marché. C'est tout ce que je peux vous dire. Ah, Sabrina dit qu'elle va en Portugal en vacances l'année prochaine. Donc voilà, bah barbecue.
Vraiment.
Ah.
Potelélou.
Vraiment. Julie aussi avait dit qu'elle allait venir au Portugal et puis elle n'est jamais venue.
Julie Badi. Ah, Jujuzinha.
Vraiment. Où elle est celle-là d'ailleurs? Ça fait longtemps. Laisse-moi regarder sur son Instagram, qu'est-ce qu'elle fait?
comment ça se fait que la qualité de ma vidéo est comme ça, si mauvaise, granulée? Là, après, je suis sur mon.
Non, elle est bien ta qualité. C'est juste que il n'y a pas assez de lumière chez toi. Mais voyons voir. J'ai sur son Instagram des photos. Là-bas, sauvagerie à Bango.
Jujuzigne.
Vous exagérez, Joujouzigne. Aïe, 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 aïe. Barbecue. Il est con, ça.
Barbecue.
Emmanuel dit qu'elle n'a pas la chance d'habiter loin. Non, écoute, faut pas dire que je n'ai pas la chance. J'ai un cousin qui est au Canada, le petit frère de Joël Amen. Il s'appelle Dédé. Et c'est un nouveau métis. Et il est mignon. Il a des cheveux défrisés comme Michael. On te le présentera. Quoique je sais pas si tu es dans ma famille, après je pourrais plus me débarrasser de toi. Anyway. Ouais, sinon j'espère que ça va. Listen. Like I was saying, I really wanted to enter that subject, but in reality, it kind of makes no sense. Everybody is way too emotional, and everybody is way too crazy right now, demanding stuff for us to go to that subject. So I want to ask you, buddy, if you saw the news.
Which one? Jada Pinkett?
Yes. I mean, the news.
This woman, man, I'm sorry, man. I wonder if her thing is just what is she trying to do? That's my honest question. Like, what is it with this woman throwing her man under the bus all the goddamn time? It's like, what is she winning from doing such thing?
That's not her man.
Or ex or whatever, you know. It's like that's not correct. I'm sorry. I'm just.
But listen, you have to see what she said. She said.
I haven't seen what she said, but the little that I've seen, je suis pas convaincu. Je trouve que c'est bizarre. Après, of course, they have the right to have their relationship. I mean, there's many couples that live like that. You know, they live in the same roof, but they don't have a.
What is interesting to me, right, is that I kind of don't understand why this is front page news. I gotta say, like,
how can you not understand?
Okay, Jada Pinkett Smith says she and husband Will Smith have been separated years ago. So in reality, since 2016, you have to turn down my sound. Did you put my? You don't have headphones? You're not a professional? Anyway.
I'm a poor YouTuber, not like you.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Look at the video.
Jada Pinkett Smith revealed in a new interview that she has been separated from her husband Will Smith since 2016, surprising many who have followed the couple's long relationship from a 1990s sitcom Meet Cute to last year when Will infamously slapped an Oscar host who made a joke about Jada. In the clip of the yet-to-air interview on NBC News, Jada said that she and Will have lived completely separate lives for 7 years, but weren't ready to publicly reveal the news until now. Jada, an actress and producer known for roles in The Matrix, Frenchies, and Madagascar, and her close relationship to the late rapper Tupac Shakur, has been on a media tour ahead of the release of her memoir, Worthy. We were both kind of still stuck in our fantasy of what we thought the other person should be. I. The couple has not divorced, but they've asserted over the years that they don't plan to, etc., etc., etc. What do you think?
Look, man, I think everybody's entitled to living the life they want to live. I just feel like um, she's always throwing this guy under the bus, and or if she's not, let's say that she's not, he's actually always feeling a certain way about her living her freedom and moving a certain way, and it's forcing him to behave in erratic and irrational ways sometimes. Because even when you saw him coming back from that whole thing with Chris Tucker,
Chris
um,
Rock.
Chris Rock, I'm sorry, Chris Rock, yes. Um, there was still something a bit off about him still. So I don't know, man. I don't quite know what to think. You know, fan of his, but at the same time, I'm kind of like, well,
There's a
I don't
question
know
by
what are you still doing with this woman? I mean, I understand you love her and all that, but like, I think she's throwing him under the bus every time she can, and in a way, it's almost like without him, she doesn't really hold grounds. I mean, yeah, she is her own person, but just stop talking about this thing already. Like nobody cares about your relationship, but you're making it sound relevant by coming with so-called revelations when it is clear everybody figured out that you guys have a weird ass relationship and the details of what it is really none of our freaking concern. But I guess it's interesting since we're talking about it. But yeah,
somebody said, take us out of the WhatsApp group, the family group chat.
yeah, that's it. Beautiful.
So before I give you an alternative opinion, I want to read a comment by Sabrina first that says, "My body is yours." Okay, body. I guess this is your birthday present. Some pink lady is yours. Dahlia is saying, "Heureux anniversaire, body. Toutes les bénédictions sur toi."
Merci Maman Dalia, merci beaucoup. On prend,
Voilà,
on
Maman
reçoit.
Dahlia.
Merci.
So, Emmanuel is asking a question. Why did he slap Chris Rock then?
Mm-hmm.
And so in the interview, in the book, she says that a few years ago, like 6 years ago, everybody was saying that they were divorcing, and Chris Rock called her and said, "Can I take you to dinner?" And she said, "Why?" And he was like, "Oh, because you guys are not divorcing." And she said, "No, we're not." And he said, "Oh, I'm so sorry." And they're saying, so maybe Will feels away because of that. And since then, he's been hating on the guy who's been trying to get with her. But they were already separated anyway. So at this point,
I would feel a certain way as well if anybody would come and try to kick it too, even if it's my side, dude, especially if we are friends.
yeah, of course, it's like you have to
expect a
respect.
little bit more than.
Yeah. Okay, let me give you an alternative opinion, because I don't want to say everything I said the last time I talked about this whole situation. So I'm going to give an alternative opinion. What if Jada felt like an hostage of this relationship? Emery is saying, ce n'est plus le prince de Bel Air, mais le prince des Simps. You guys are crazy. Listen, let me dive a little bit on this. Will Smith's first wife, right? Her name is Sherry, I believe, the mother of the first son. She said that at a point she wanted to divorce Will, right? And Will said, "I don't divorce." I'm not a guy who divorced. Like me, I'm married for life, right? And she replied to him, why would you want to stay with somebody that doesn't love you anymore? And I'm talking about something that Will Smith himself said in the Red Table Talk, when they go and they air their laundry. He said that he really was in shock when she said she wants to divorce, because he doesn't believe in divorcing, and that when she sent him the divorce papers, he said, no, I'm not divorcing you. We're gonna stay like this even if you don't love me. And in the end, mais tu vois, donc after that, he directly started his relationship with Jada, and they got married very quickly. And in an interesting conversation they were having, in an interview that a conversation they were having in the show that I was watching, he was saying, I gave you everything. But she was crying every day in the morning. She was depressed and she was not happy. And he was like, but you have everything you want. And she replied to him, no, I have everything you want. All these things you're doing, you're not doing them for me. You're doing them for you and your ego. And he was at that time the superstar that he is. He was already like doing all these movies and etc. And she was not being able to have her own career because she put her career on standby to take care of the kids, etc., etc. And you know, she's always been like these big feminist and a vocal woman. And all of a sudden she had to just become maybe the opposite of what she always wanted to be. She always wanted to be a boss lady, and she became just a wife. And this takes me to my own experience with the first time I lived with somebody for a long time. I was in relationship with a girl that you know back in Paris. And when we started the relationship, the thing I did directly was give her a roof over her head, which was my house, that I paid the rent. Make sure that from the first day she got in my house, she always had food in her plate when she was hungry. She had, back then there was no Netflix, but she had all the series, fast internet. She had no phone when I met her. I bought her a phone. And after a year, she was depressed. And I was telling her, you have everything you need. What's your problem? And she was like, I feel useless. I was like, what do you mean you feel useless? No, I feel useless to you. I was like, what do you mean? I said, no, because I don't feel like I bring anything to the table. And I was telling her, I just need you to love me. I don't need nothing else.
C'est pas suffisant.
I don't need nothing else. I have everything else. And I'll make everything else happen. I'll make the money. Everything is on my name. I pay for my phone, your food, my food, everything. If you want to do something, go to school. I remember telling her that. Go to school, or yeah, but what if I want to get a job? I said, I don't see the point, but go get a job, right? And that's when I started realizing that there was a problem of culture. We didn't have the same culture. She was Asian. I was a Bantu from Makanza, Equateur. Like, we were not on the same page when it comes to what, and of course, we lived in France, and myself, I was struggling with, do I want to be with a girl that works, that has a car, that, you know, is independent, or do I want to be with a woman that looks like my mom? Because what we have been exposed to as kids growing up is this African Bantu culture where the man has a job to do. And this job is to put the food on the table, to put a roof over the head, and to make sure that everything. And the woman has to take care of, and it's a full job too, take care of the kids, the house, XYZ. And we were, at the same time, we grew up in between this culture, and at the same time, the French culture, the European culture, where here the women have their job, the men have their job, and there's a lot of couple where everybody do things 50-50, they pay the rent, both of them, etc., etc. And to me, I never saw it as a wrong thing to pay the rent and to pay the food and to pay all the restaurants and to pay the taxis. I thought that was my job, because that's the way I've seen my dad his whole life treat his wife. The last 50 years they've been together. So why would I do it differently? But then when you arrive in France, depending on the girl that you're going to choose, she might not understand, or she might feel, or maybe when she go talk to her friends that have a job, that have stuff to do, and she's just there watching TV, she might feel bored. And that's why when I moved here and I met my wife, something that was very different with her is that she actually was from the same education as me. And she was raised in the traditional African way, and the way I am today, for her, it is completely normal. It is completely normal to have a husband that take care of the things, and when she talks with her feminist friends that are all singles, and they just like, oh yeah, man, we have to be whatever. She's like, yeah, whatever. And yeah, but I mean, what if your husband leave you? What if, all these things? And she's like, listen, I understand everything you say, but if he leaves me, I'll get a job. And there was a time last year when my wife was a little depressed from maybe when our daughter started going to school, and she had a lot of time in her hands, and she was starting to feel like, I have nothing to do. I'm just there watching series and stuff, and I don't know. And I was like, yeah, listen, you can do a lot of things. You can start a company. You can listen. Like, the rent is paid for the year. Like, and then she got herself a job. She started her her eyebrows company, and she started doing that for a whole year. And she was very busy, and she was very happy, and I was happy that. And then at a point, she wanted to stop doing it, and she looked at me like, what do you think? I was like, listen, to me, it doesn't change anything, because I never asked you to pay any rent here. As I said, the rent is paid for the year. The electricity is paid. The food is paid. You have one of my credit cards in your wallets. All your services are plugged to my bank account. So If you want to work, you work. If you want to be busy, and if you tired of working, you can stay home. You can watch series, and when you want to go back to working or doing something or being influenced, whatever you want, do what you want, because my job is to make sure that you have the choice. But that's when you get the right wife for you. And I believe that here, Jada didn't get the right man. And Will didn't get the right woman. But for him, she was so beautiful. He loved her. They wanted to go fast. And once they got married, maybe he said, there's no divorce here. And so
But it
right
looks
now
like a
it
guy that
feels,
would be in a rush. As much as he sounds very wise and all that, when you're
no,
observing him, sometimes,
but he's
toi, tu as l'air d'un
60.
gars vraiment, quand t'es en go, tu veux tout faire en même temps.
Listen, this guy,
Un gars comme ça.
listen, when imagine he's the biggest superstar in the world. So at a point, we are all here in these situations sometimes where we in a place where we feel like in a golden jail, but we cannot leave because there's a lot of advantages to also be there, and at the same time there's the image you built as a couple, and sometimes you become prisoner of that image. He himself said that he was a prisoner of the nice guy image, and sometimes and her, yeah, she was prisoner of the Will and Jada image. And a lot of people love to hate, love to talk about Tupac, love to say that she's evil. Maybe she's just a person that's in the wrong place. And I believe that she's putting torpedoes in the image. That's where I disagree with her. I believe that she should just sit down with her husband and say, it's time for us to, even if we stay married, for the law, maybe they have a lot of business in common, etc., right? Maybe you sit down with a person, and since we are separated already for years, why we keep pretending for the public? That's what's interesting with this internet, that American celebrity. It feels like people, when they become famous, and we know a little bit about it because we are a little bit famous. When you become famous, you can become a hostage of your own celebrity. And I see, for example, the way the fans are, like the Cardi B fans, the Nicki Minaj fans, the Beyonce fans, how they are. These people will fight you, will insult you, will do death threats for people they don't know. It's like some people have never been in less than 10 kilometers away or maybe a mile away when they're in the show from Beyonce, but they're ready to kill anybody that talks bad about her. And you see the way people are, as I was saying for the previous subject, people are becoming so extremist in anything. They are not just, hey, I love your music. No, they are extremely fans. They stands. And now if you have people, they say that you are the couple goal, right? Like me, like every time I post photos with my wife or I celebrate a new birthday, something with my wife, people are like, oh my God, you are my couple's goal, etc., etc. And me, I'm like, we are not perfect. We are just like every couple. Sometimes it's great, sometimes it's bad, sometimes we have our highs and our lows like everybody else. Stop fantasizing about what we are. But because we are, glamorous, we're not going to post photos when we are angry at each other. But the people online, they just put an image in their head of what you represent, and they're like, oh my god, I wish I could be a couple like you, whatever. Maybe right now you're like, oh my god, I'm gonna throw these women out the window. But people, they're like, oh, and people, if you are not able to in your if you're not able to stay stable in your head, you can then believe that because you represent this for the people outside that don't know you, then you have to stay in a situation that doesn't work. If you don't want to be with your woman, or your woman doesn't want to be with you anymore, or you guys don't love each other, but hashtag couples goal is more important, you guys are crazy. And that's where I'm like, I don't know. I never thought there were couples goal, because I'm not a fan of nobody. So I mean, listen, I know them together forever, but I really don't care. If you guys decided to separate, you separate. But I understand how it feels, because I don't. Whenever I see the comments, when I post photos with my wife, I see people that I don't know that are saying, oh my god, I wish to be like you guys, couples gold. And I'm like, all right, but what if one day you guys want to separate? You must not think about strangers. And I feel like these guys, they fell in that trap. Him, first of all, saying, I don't divorce. And her saying, yeah, we have an image. We have an image, and it's good for the image. It's good for what we represent in Hollywood, the power couple, all that stuff. Guys, if it doesn't work, even if you just want to keep being married, at least be clear to the world that you are separated, because now everybody's gonna go back to everything you guys said the last 7 years and be like, you guys were lying all this time. Why did you slap Chris Rock? Why do you do the keep your name out my mouth, keep my wife's name out of your mouth, all that stuff? Like, where all these came from? And I believe that she just wants to exist now, because she's been under him for so long, and she wants to have her say, but everything she says is just destroying the legacy of that image. I don't know if she's consciously doing it on purpose, or if it's just, yeah, I want to say what I want to say, and maybe he doesn't care. Maybe he's like, yeah, whatever. Like, I live my life, you live your life. You can say whatever you want. I don't care. But yeah, that's one of my hypotheses.
Anyways, honestly, yeah, I guess you said it all, but I'm looking at it. I guess, well, no, it's not I'm looking at it, but observing what you're saying and contemplating, analyzing what you just said. I'm confirmed in a way of thinking that I've always had, or well, that I developed, I guess, with time, which is that there's no such thing as perfection.
Of course.
And there's no such thing as, oh, she's my everything. I find it amazing that guys feel like their women are their everything, and some women feel like their men are their everything. The only thing that could potentially be my everything would be my children. But when I see the amount, how people are quick to just fucking, like, divorce, this and that. Look, with all due respect, look, darling, we're gonna try to be the best couple we can be, the best partners, but we know how that game plays out, because there's always one, and that's really the part of it that's really sad. Will Smith certainly in the relationship was the one that was definitely the most in love. But what was he in love with? He was in love with physique. He was in love with a projection he had of her, but that wasn't her. He had an idea of her potential self for him, but her
Mm.
potential self for him was not who she actually was, and certainly not who she wanted to be for with him. And maybe she tried to tag along. And the sad thing is that while giving life to two children who look kind of messed up mentally, both of them, I don't know them, but I
Eh,
mean, they don't look like they got their shit together. With all due respect, um, they're struggling with a lot of things. When you see your parents, you know, um, doing the things that they're doing online publicly, it definitely must takes its toll on you and affect you and mess with you. Sorry, mentally. I mean, it's only but normal. But unfortunately, I think when you're in Hollywood and all these environments, I mean, as we both know, we obviously get to interact with some of these people sometimes. They live in a world of their own where only the rule, only the rule of the world they live in only applies to their world, and it doesn't apply in our realities. I mean, we are like, you should share with them some of the basic stuff that you might be doing on a daily basis, or you, for example, building your studio yourself, whatever. Like a lot of them don't even understand what that means. I mean, they do intellectually understand, but like, why would you do that? Like they would, So
yeah.
those are basic, simple example. But now you apply that to just interaction in relationship, where since when, and not saying that it doesn't happen in regular households where, you know, the lady or the man could sleep with the son or the daughter's best friend and or girlfriend or whatnot. It's some sad stuff. These are things that will mess with you mentally.
Yeah.
And since those are, but that's the thing. It's like, so why? And for me, I think my parents, for sure, my dad was adamant on that. He said, "You will not bring any pregnant woman to this house ever, unless it is a woman that you have decided to live your life with or get married with or whatever. But as long as it is something serious, and even then, you're gonna have to think twice." And I have never gotten to the point of reaching such limits. Um, Out of just the, the, the fear and the judgment of my family, knowing that I had just rushed into something that would make sense. But I think that, again, we're
What
all
up,
different,
Jazzy?
man. So, you know, it's honestly, it's a sad story, man. If I look at it, I think it's extremely sad.
You
And
think
for this
so?
woman to go, it's sad, man. It is sad. I feel like it's unfortunate that you feel the need to uh, use that as a mean to help you promote and bring about attention upon your name. It looks like your work alone, your book, and what it is that you have going on should be able to sell itself. However, it is a memoir, so she certainly has spoken about it. So obviously, the journalists have read it, pinpoint that, and want to talk about it because it's a selling
Of course, they
point.
want to make some buzz.
They knew about it, and it is what it is, and that's just the way the business works. And I think they knew, and they could be as cynical as probably even making both money off of that book, or since his lawyer must have probably spoken to her lawyer and said, "Look, you're going to talk about him. That's going to make you money. Boom, you need some royalties off of that. You're done. All right, cool. Let's go." Hey, shit gets very, 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 very cynical in that world, man.
It's I mean, listen. I don't know if if they're not being together. They just reunite as a family because in reality they are not friends, right? They are like me and the mother of my son. We've known each other for 22 years now, And when we see each other really, really as homies. Like, I don't even remember how we made that kid. So when we see each other, it's just like, yeah, it's the family. And when she's in Lisbon and she comes with my son and we all dine together with my wife, with her sisters or her family, like, because it's after a certain point we just, family, and we have a kid together, and like we just talk as friends. Like me and her, when we talk hours. We talk about business, we talk about family, we talk about the education of the kids, we talk about our kid together, and my kid with the one after her, and like and everybody is a great happy family. The only difference here is that everything is clear. That whenever I'm with her, people know that she's my ex. And here is just for the looks, they just stay together, but it doesn't mean that they must have a bad relationship. It's just that
Does it look good like they have a good relationship? We're not in their relationship, but
I believe it
I
does.
mean, speaking about the fact that they've been separated since 2016 doesn't mean that they are actually having bad blood.
Yeah.
But in
They
this
don't.
relationship, it seems to be very clear to me that Jada is the one who's literally the one, who's the balls in the
Resented.
relationship. He's more like okay, and if he's trying to put a tantrum, she checks him right back into sense.
I listen. I see it maybe a little differently. Maybe she has some resentment because she had to sacrifice a lot of the things that she believed that she could achieve for him, and she had to stay in his shadow for all this time. And even if she did something, she was in the Matrix. She was in a few series. She was in a few movies. Like, it's not like she didn't do nothing for herself. But sometimes you might believe that you might have had another life if you didn't, let that person be overshadowing you and taking all the sun. Maybe she's feeling that resentment, but I don't believe that. It doesn't seem to me that they are not friends. It seems like he doesn't care. It seems like she is the one who needs to always open up about things and give family secrets, and that have her
Let's say he
voice.
doesn't care. At a certain point, you must feel annoyed that the woman
Yeah.
that is the mother of your children, whom you choose to put a ring on a finger and be together till death do you part, is dragging you all the time in the mud whenever she can. What's that about, man? Like, oh, don't hurt our sister. Like, dude, like, what about hurting the brothers, man? Like, this guy probably, I don't know, man. Maybe
Is
he's
it?
strong, but bro, you and I, we know very well a lot of these things are fake, man.
I'm the
Fake
advocate.
joy, fake happiness, man. I don't know.
I'm the advocate of the defense. Maybe he's like, oh, do you really have to talk about this thing? And she's like, yeah, I want to have my voice, I want to be able to say my piece and etc. Why can't I? And he's like, oh yeah, do what you want. Like, maybe he doesn't really care about her saying what is the truth. And maybe what makes him angry or makes him depressed is more the reaction of the internet. And what I would say to this is the problem of the reaction of the internet is that the reaction of the internet comes from you guys lying to everybody. If you guys said from the beginning, we are separated, everything she would have done after that would not have any
Impact.
The people would say, yeah, they're not together anyway. The problem is whenever she does something, the people feel like your own wife is doing things to you when you guys are married, and then she calls you to come to the red table talk, and she humiliating you. Because what August Alsina said was, I met him and he gave me his blessing. And he probably gave him his blessing because he doesn't give a fuck. You see what I mean? And he doesn't because these guys, listen, it's just like, what? Listen, I wish all the well-being to the mother of my son, and whoever she's been with the last 20 years is not my problem. You care maybe the year after, but after years not together, it's just the mother of you. You see what I mean?
But you're speculating your character and trying to like match characters. He's not in. If you look at Will Smith, you look at Kaysha, you guys don't have the same kind of personalities in any way, shape, or form.
Bro, if you had a kid with somebody 20 years ago, imagine you had a kid with your ex of 20 years ago, right? Mm-hmm. The one I'm thinking about, or whatever, whoever, one good one, right? And you guys are not together for the last 7 years, right? Why? How do you care if she has a relationship with somebody, whoever it is? After 7 years, you don't care anymore. Some people, they think you belong to them forever, but in reality, these two have been living their lives. It's just that they were pretending to be a couple for the show. That's their mistake.
So if we take that route, then yeah, okay, then it's not a news, and we wish them the best. And that's it. Because for me, I don't think that it doesn't seem like this is something that is taken by. I don't know him, but he looks like a sensitive guy, like somebody that is a man of, with a certain sense of sensitivity.
And his image is important for him.
This is damage for him, man. So he's taking it like a big man and like smiling, but deep inside he's hurting, man. I wouldn't imagine.
Yeah.
Because nobody's dragging your name. You're talking about that, but like,
that's true.
Nobody's dragging your name to the
That's
public.
true. That's true. If Van was going everywhere, telling her story with me and saying, and I was like this, and he didn't do this, and I'd be like, yo, can you stop talking about me? Can you tell your story without talking about me? In that part, that's why I say that her desire to exist and but these are the times. It's a time where they love these type of women.
Because we keep talking about the new generation. There's no such thing as new generation, man. These people are following exactly the footstep of what all the elders are doing. Because we act as if social media did not also change the way we consume news, the way we also live our lives, the way we also move in this life. Social media has changed everybody. We talk about all the youth, but what about us, the adults? If you strip somebody away from their phone right now for 1 week or a month, they won't know what to do with their lives. They'll be completely disconnected from society. They will be on the margin of society and it will affect them morally. You don't have access to your news. You don't have access to your NFTs. You don't have access to anything. Let's even say we give you your phone, but you can't access nothing that gives you a window to the world, except just potentially news. And so you're not completely frustrated. We give you access to your business-related matters, and that's the only thing you can do. You don't have access to emails. You just have access to that, and all you can interact with is your work. But nothing around it. No WhatsApp. No nothing. Man, I mean, like at the end of the day, we act as if everybody would be fucked up, man. Everybody's in this thing, but I really believe it comes down to education. These people are not educated. The people who came into money, they are educated in some sense. They came into money, power, and fame, and unfortunately, their lack of education is being shown. I mean, we cannot speak like we come from this level. Even for example, I look at my family. My grandfather was grew up. He was born in the village, grew up in the village, but he educated himself. This is a different generation. Like, these guys. I mean, yeah, okay, they might, and I'm not saying that they cannot not educate themselves, and I'm not saying that they're not educated. But by educated, I mean there are certain things that are distasteful, and you
Yes.
dragging your partner, your husband, your friend, anyone who you've been known to be associated. Like, it's like me and my boy Ivan. We've had our fallout. You know, people have known about it. People have heard stuff here, but we've never went out publicly and did this, did that, said this, said that. Yeah, everybody felt a certain. We both felt a certain way. You know, we both certainly have said certain things about one another, but we would have never, and we would never, under any circumstances, speak about things that do not belong to, uh, um, you
The
know,
public.
uh, to the public, to the public. And this is something for me that defines character, that defines education, that defines principle that a lot of people don't have, and they act as if, well, I'm just speaking my voice and I'm living in my power. This is not power. This is abuse. This is disrespect, and you should not be encouraged to do such things. But it is what it is. And the funny thing is that when I'm looking back, and actually I was just talking with him 2 days ago. He called me for my birthday, and he was like, "Yo," and we talk completely normally, man. We're good. Like, yeah, okay, the relationship has evolved, and actually, maybe it's not what it used to be. It's like, when you break something, it's never going to be exactly the same, but it's strengthened by the fact that there is true respect for one another at the end of the day, and understanding that you care for one another because, well, life goes on. And when you look at the essential stuff of things of life, I look, give you another example. You hit somebody's guts. Not that it's your character or my character, but okay. Anyway, somebody pisses you off, you don't like that person. Cool. All of a sudden, you find out you have this enemy of yours in life, your sworn enemy, for valid or invalid reason. Next thing you know, the person dies. Yeah, you may say you don't care, but I think truthfully, deep down inside, just you and yourself, yo, you're gonna feel it, man. You're gonna feel it. Unless you're a psychopath and you have no feelings, then okay, I guess it is what it is. But anyway, bottom line is, I don't know, man. I just think that throwing this man under the bus like she's doing is sad, and they're acting like it's empowerment and it's, go girl, go. It's okay, we got you. No, you ain't got shit, man. That's some BS. It's like we already know your relationship is dysfunctional. Why are you adding more, man? Oh,
I need to speak my truth. Joel is saying they are on the decline, so any buzz is good for their pockets.
true that. But actually, that's my point. Because of what they're doing, they're actually on the decline. Because they could be much smarter than that. Will Smith could still continue doing his movies. She could also do the same, producing movies, this and that. And anyways, even if they are rich as hell, man.
Listen, when something you have to understand about being rich. When you are rich, when you only have like 1,000 every month to live, to pay your rent and etc., you're gonna spend for that amount, right?
Yeah.
When you have 10,000 a month to live, you're gonna start realizing that you're spending 10,000 every month from a bigger house, this, that, the way that the things you're gonna buy are gonna be different. And when you have 100,000 per month to live, and you have a huge property or 5 huge property, you're gonna realize that just for the maintenance of your property, it is costing you 40K. Then with the rest of the 60K, all your little family is costing you a 60K. It's kind of hard to fathom for somebody who never had that type of money. But in reality, the more you have, the more you spend. So they might have a lot of money, probably, but does it mean that for the way they live, the things that they pay, they need to stay on a certain level, and they need to win a certain amount to stay on that level? Because we've seen, listen, when there was the pandemic and the quarantine, there was a bunch of French rappers who used to live a lavish life that realized that they were poor. Because they were making 5,000 per show. That's a lot of money. And they were making 4 shows a month. So they were spending 20K a month from going out, going holidays, taking the boys out, buying cars, buying all these things, buying apartments here and there, whatever. And then they had maybe an expenses of, let's say, 10K a month for security, apartments, this, that, whatever, school for the kids, etc., etc. And yeah, listen, 2 shows, you paid all that. But all of a sudden, for, I don't know, a whole year, 2 years, I don't remember, there was no more shows at all. And maybe you had like 40K on the side, and in 5 months, you had nothing anymore. And a lot of people ended up this way, even if they were living good. So, and it's the same thing. Listen, when before the pandemic, Drake bought this huge house, and he makes 500K per show. So he bought himself this huge mansion in Toronto, and maybe he paid cash. But imagine if he had a deal with the bank, and he had to give, let's say, 100K a month for a house that was 20 million, for example, and you make 500K a month from your shows, and all of a sudden you don't make the 500K anymore. Let's say you have 10 million in the bank. After a whole year, you just spent a whole million just for the house, and you had nothing come in. And even if you still have 9 million, you're like, wait a minute, this is going on for how long? Because you're starting to stress. A lot of people realize, and a lot of people, when they say, oh, this person is worth 200 million, a lot of people don't understand. This is not liquid money. If I own a house that is worth 20 million, another house that is worth 10 million, and a house that is worth 15 million, I'm worth 45 million. It doesn't mean I have 45 million in the bank. It means that my assets are worth 45 million. Maybe I only have 1 million in the bank. So when people say, oh, Elon Musk has 100 billion, no, he has 100 billion in Tesla stock. Maybe he only has 1 million in the bank. And because people love to just throw numbers, people believe that, listen, if Tesla stock goes down minus 10,000% tomorrow, all these people they cease being billionaires. Just when like Facebook dropped, everybody was happy that Mark Zuckerberg lost 70 billion. It was the same thing I was telling people. Hey, he only lost 70 billion in value. His bank account is the same. It's just that the worth of his stock has declined. So we never know what are the and listen, you can always sell a house, etc., but you never know what is the the
You
situation of
never know.
people. You never know. It's we believe that because people are superstars, they good. But listen, anybody can be in struggle mode or listen. What's this guy who's a presenter in the French TV? He was saying on TPMP that he had no more money. He was forgot his name. The Anuna's friend with the small eyes. Forgot his name. Famous son of a famous person. Grenadier.
Ah, le fils du gars qui était costaud là. Comment ça s'appelle? Très connu là.
Naldi, something Naldi. And yeah, he was saying that he had a lot of money. He was going home by helicopter, going home after every day after the show was costing him 30K or 40K or 50K just because he had to go in helicopter from Paris to his house after every show. And he had so much money that, yeah, he didn't care. He was spending like crazy. And that then he did some bad investments. Bad investment. A lot of bad investment. He invested like people told him, hey, put 5 million here and you probably will have 50 million. He put 5 million and he ended up with zero. And now he's saying he's struggling. He's struggling plus the divorce plus
Benjamin
etc.
Castaldi.
Huh? Yeah,
Benjamin
Castaldi.
Castaldi.
Yeah, and that's what he was saying. And yeah, you never know what people go through because all these events can make people struggle. But hey, it is what it is.
Life is very real, man.
Life is very real. Listen,
Well, what we see now is the testimony of that, unfortunately.
I have my plane to take tomorrow at 11 to Brussels. I want to talk about. I don't know if I'm going to talk about my NFT collection today. I'm gonna leave it for next week. So before I go, I want to ask you. I might also go to a Twitter space in New York. So what are your? Did you ever? Did you ever? Do you do plans like New Year's resolution stuff like that?
No.
And did you do like a 40 years resolution? Do you have something or is just another day?
Mm. Uh, it's just another day, I guess, but it's not. And I'm very much about symbols, and I believe that you are what you think, and what you think can be manifested into reality. So I guess I'm going about it in one thing that I'm learning is being patient with the process of dealing with the emotions relating to the grief. As I believe that as I turned 40, it really revived certain wounds, of losing my parents. And I just lost my mother last year. So as you can imagine, this is still very fresh. But uh, I think I'm learning that you've got to be humble. Take one day at a time. Make plans for the future. Certainly, I have my goals and my plans that you already know. That's without a doubt. We making it happen. We making them come through. But I'm a little bit more conservative as to getting excited over like, okay, boom, boom. I am driven. I am focused, but I am not, let's say, into this idea of like, okay, so this is the resolution. This is it's like, I have a plan, and the plan is to go steady, step by step, at least for the next couple of months. And I think my plans are more 6 months to 6 months. That's how I work. You know, obviously towards the end goal, which is already known, but you know, I've seen more than enough times that you make plans, you project, you do this. Oh my god, it looks good, and the next thing you know, whoop,
Patatrak.
patatrac, patats. Donc, yeah,
How do
I think
you?
yeah, I have
Yeah.
fun, but I'm just very conservative about that, man. You
How
know.
do you? How do you feel uh, after 10 years going back home?
Yeah, so next week Friday, I'm flying to Central African Republic after 10 years. I haven't processed that idea yet, you know, because it's a lot of
Hmm.
mixed feelings for sure. Um, Especially knowing how my father died and my grandfather as well. So I guess these things do feel a certain way, but at the same time, it's not my reality. It was their life, their realities.
Yeah.
I'm going there, and it's interesting because it's almost like I'm returning, but this time I'm returning with an homage to the name that I carry by being recognized and being
Mm.
given. It's not recognized like nationally because it's not like the festival is. It's the only or one of the only, if not the most important festival in the country right now because there's nothing else going on really, and nothing else that actually match the kind of project that Idil Mamba is putting together for this project. But the fact that I'm going there with like my name everywhere, like freaking billboards and everything. Um, it's an interesting homage to both my parent, my father and my grandfather, and I think for that it's worth it. But at the same time, I'm humble about it. I'm excited to go and share knowledge. It's a pro bono thing I'm doing. I'm not getting paid for it or anything. But interestingly enough, I'm building courses because I'm going to be giving workshops and class to a couple of hundred people every day for at least 3 days. So
Nice.
I have an intensive immersion into knowing about DJing, marketing, promotion, the different kind of jobs that are in the music industry, talking about the business and the economical aspect of the music industry, its positive impact on the local economy, having to meet with the leaders in the country, ministers, etc. So it's going to be interesting, man.
Yeah.
It's empowering to know that you're being looked at as a solid um, as somebody solid enough to be in these rooms and talking about culture and seeing what can be done for the for the progress of this country, which is a beautiful country and so many talents. And what's exciting is that I'm going to get to also introduce them to properly to introduce them to electronic music, and show them that
Mm.
there's connections and give them history, which I know majority of them don't even have a single idea about. Not because they don't want to know, but just because they just don't get to think about it because they got other things to worry about. So yeah, it's exciting. It's exciting.
It
But
is.
again, I'm being conservative about it as well. I'm just like humbly, humbly going
Do
there
you
and doing what I.
do you plan on trying to go to Bria, or just you're gonna stay
You
in the
know what?
capital?
It's definitely a will that I have. I'm gonna I'm gonna ask. There's a couple of guys that I know. I'm gonna ask them if it's possible to catch a flight to Bria, do like a round trip, just go for the day and then come back.
How far is it?
And if that happens, it's 600 kilometers from Bangui, so by plane it's about
Okay.
um, an hour 10 minutes less. Um, and then yeah, just go and see, and. So I might, if I do that, it's gonna be during the week. I'm gonna have to ask. I'm gonna have to ask somebody, but
How long you saying?
I'm staying for about 10 days. Yeah,
Oh, nice.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I gotta play some chords. As a matter of fact, tomorrow I'm playing some
Love you too,
couple of chords.
Laetitia.
Bah, love you, bah, Nini, attention, hein. C'est
Bah,
un homme
love, va
marié,
faire,
hein.
y a bah, love, mon cher. Mouah.
Bah, love you, love you.
Mouah.
The married man, attention.
Oh, ne gâchez pas les rêves des gens.
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
Rêve cauchemardesque. You got a show this weekend coming up in Brussels, right?
Tomorrow. This weekend.
Oh, it's tomorrow.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm leaving tomorrow. I'm
And
leaving
when are you coming back?
tomorrow. Sunday for my 9-year anniversary.
Ah, nice. Beautiful.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Oh, Madame posted as a happy birthday the picture of me giving her a hug during the mariage, the wedding. Such a beautiful
Nice.
picture, man. Wow, that
Oh yeah,
wedding.
let me see.
Yeah,
She posted one on her story.
yeah. She
Oh,
was
let
wishing
me
me
see
happy
if it's
birthday.
still here.
When I told her, I said,
Lovely.
no, for sure, when I come back from all these trips, we need to do a proper get down and organize a grande boda.
Yeah,
It's
you
a
have to
proper
organize
food,
something. If I had time, I would have tried to gather some people and do something,
Yeah.
but didn't.
It's all good, man. So good we get to do it, you know. No, but I feel good, man. I feel good.
Oh yeah, it's a nice photo that she posted.
Beautiful picture, man. Such an emotional, very emotional day. Hein? Oh.
Yeah.
Bah, élégance, il y a un bouton de manchette.
Oh, vraiment. Quel jour.
Costa cire de Mézir. Hein? Audemars Piguet Royal Oak. Bah, comprenez. Ah, vraiment. Il fut une époque. Ouais.
Yeah.
Vida.
La
Bon,
vidéo
ok,
est
faut que
bien
te reposer là. Time is running.
I didn't even prepare my show. So I'm gonna prepare the show for tomorrow.
Oh,
I have to decide what song I'm singing. It's more French crowd, so I'm gonna try to maybe do a few mixes of the French songs, because I only have mixes of the English songs. So when I'm gonna do that. So yeah.
It's French, but it's Belgians. Belgian, Francophone Belgian, so you already know.
Yeah,
They have a different kind of vibe.
I know I'm gonna do Ondiqua. I know I'm gonna do Diamond. Something going on. That's already free. That's already like 15 minutes. So the show is 30 minutes. So probably Love de Toi mixed with Bien plus fort que mes mots, or mixed with yeah.
You gotta drop Fiona there, man.
You see that's where the problem begins. Yeah, you have to put Fiona, you have to put Motema, it's complicated.
No, okay. Between Fiona and then you gotta drop Motema because that's more Brussels will be Motema.
You see, that's the problem. Like,
Trop de hits, the hit maker, trop de hits.
Too many hits, so it's complicated. So I'm gonna see how I see. I'm gonna probably like mix songs together. So that's what I'm gonna do now. I'm gonna do maybe 2 songs. Every song is gonna be 2 songs. Like,
yeah, that's a good idea. A nice little medley.
Like 2 French songs, 2 whatever, maybe 1, and then something going on by itself. Diamonds, and then Ondiqua. And then everybody's gonna complain. Hein?
Supernova aurait été pas mal quand même.
Hey! Yeah.
Ou alors, le morceau que tu as fait avec, c'était lequel? La Mapiano Pega là, que tu as fait, c'est pas avec Wemoto?
Ouais, j'en ai plusieurs. Hein. Arigato. No, moi, I'm not singing new songs. I only sing like classic, just like people come in to sing in a club for 30 minutes.
One new song, just an extra little cherry on the pie.
No,
No,
I'm not interested in that. That's stuff that I was doing back in the days. I come, I sing you all your hits, and I'm out. That's what I do now. The song, like, if you want to be on stage as a song, you have to prove. You have to pass your number of streams. After 1 million stream, you can be on stage.
I can understand that.
That's the way I see it. Even videos. You want to be a music video, you have to prove on the streams first.
It's true.
Yeah.
It's true. En tout
It
cas,
is what it is.
le Shada Gang a vraiment,
Vraiment.
comme je constate toujours, le Shada
Nous sommes
Gang
là.
est toujours au max.
Toujours au max. Well, listen, it's been a pleasure. Club Shada.
Like, okay.
And yeah.
Your habitual sidekick.
Well, listen, it's kind of funny because it's at this time, normally this is the time where we start.
I know, right? And
Yeah.
I'm already like yawning and everything. You know the fun, and yeah, you know.
I think it's me. Earlier, it's cool, huh?
It's cool. I like it.
Yeah, me too. I like it. It's just now you have to habituate the algorithm because there's a lot of people. First, there's a lot of people who are working at this time, and a lot of people who are not. And I'm gonna try to do one early too. Probably, maybe I'm gonna move the Sunday show to like 2 p.m. I'm thinking of trying that. Yeah, just to do something different, you know. So yeah, we'll see. Or maybe I'll do something else, like maybe not a Club Shada, maybe just something else from time to time. Something like, oh yeah, like something else. Maybe an extra episode, like, you know, you do 2 episodes on the same day. We'll see. You know, I'll see. That's the good thing of having your own space and being able to do and being able to do stuff like this. Look at this. Look at this. Look at this. Look at this.
Ah oui, t'as changé la couleur. Ok. Ah, ça c'est très joli. J'aime bien. Ça c'est mon mot préféré, celui-là, juste avant celui-là.
Celui-là.
Ah ouais, non, c'est ma vibe. Je kiffe bien.
Yeah, this is nice.
En tout cas.
Yeah.
Bon, ok.
All right.
On s'appelle juste après. Shada Gang.
So,
On stop.
Shada Gang, actually, I'm going to leave you guys with a track called Supernova. Don't forget that you can watch the replay of Club Shada, and you can also catch the podcast version on Spotify directly or in every platform, actually. So I'm leaving you guys with my song Supernova with Brait and Buddy. Always a pleasure. Happy birthday again. And
Merci, Papa K.
toujours à toutes. Call you in exactly 10 seconds.
Merci.
Peace. Shada Gang, this show was brought to you by Shada Wear, the gods of good fortune. Thank you to the Stream Royalty, Anan, and all the sponsors. Thanks a lot. Put some rainbows in the chat if you enjoyed the show. We were a little longer than usual this time. We did 2 hours, which is cool. I'm going to now edit the show and you have all the clips. And I'll see you Sunday if I come back early from dining with my wife. And if I don't, maybe I'll come Monday. All right? Peace, Shada Gang.
everybody take over, the party's over. Tell them betrayers finito, the game is over. I feel the force over me like I'm Bando's over. Tell them return of the one only Master Yoda. When I'm around rockin', there's no more umbrella. She's Bonnie, I'm Clyde, she's Scooby, and I'm the over. Haters, I'm ready to turn them in hard believers. I'm gonna shine everywhere like a supernova. Shine everywhere like a supernova. I'm gonna shine everywhere like a supernova. Everybody take over, the party's over. Tell them betrayers finito, the game is over. I feel the force over me like I'm Bando's over. Tell them return of the one only Master Yoda. When I'm around rockin', there's no more umbrella. She's Bonnie, I'm Clyde, she's Scooby, and I'm the over. Haters, I'm ready to turn them in hard believers. I'm gonna shine everywhere like a supernova.